So before I get into the main topic of this video, I just want to take a second and appreciate that really cool Melee Spirit event that Nintendo did recently. The image they made for it is just so cool to me. Being a longtime Super Smash Bros. Fan, seeing the dedication to making like this image just for a Spirit event to show all the characters that were like introduced in Melee and have it kind of that Melee select screen style, I just think that's really, really awesome. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the topic that's on everybody's mind right now. Are we going to get a January Nintendo Direct, and will that Nintendo Direct give us our 5th DLC Fighters Pass character revealed? Personally, I'm thinking yes to both. We're supposedly having this Fighters Pass end in February, and we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in a while now. We don't really know what Nintendo has planned for 2020, so getting a Direct soon here makes a lot of sense to me, and I think if we do get a Direct in January, well, now's the time to reveal that fighter. If they're supposed to come out next month, we kind of have to have them revealed before that. For me right now, it's not really a question of if we're going to get a Direct in January, it's more a question of when in January. And it could be as early as this week. I don't know for sure when we're going to get one, but this week, maybe next week, I do think it'll probably be early January, and we'll probably hear about it very soon here. And there's a bunch of things leading me to think this. Now, before I get into all the evidence leading me to think that we're going to get a Nintendo Direct very soon, I want to talk about something I was talking about in my last video, because it's now 2020, and we haven't seen Ryu Hayabusa. I Am Shifty and Brew Elfin share a source who supposedly has told them a bunch of correct information for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, including giving Brew Elfin the ability to correctly predict Piranha Plant over on Facebook. This source also supposedly told them that Ryu Hayabusa would be coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as well, and Brew Elfin even went out so far as to say that this would get revealed in 2019. After the Game Awards, Brew Elfin had this conversation. Someone said, "Damn, the Game Awards had no Smash announcement. Would you say Hayabusa is probs a 2020 thing now?" I still trust the 2019 claim, to be honest. If it doesn't happen, then my source takes an L, and I might even call him out. Well, it looks like Brew's source has taken that L, and Brew actually messaged me over on Twitter and had this to say. Yo, I imagine since I've taken the L that some resolution would be appreciated, and well, since my unbroken faith was finally broken, I'll discuss more about what exactly is going on. My source had a flawless track record for Ultimate, though I only realized it and put everything together about a few weeks before release. Getting info for base Ultimate was significantly easy for insiders due to how long it was in production. This led me to believe that Piranha Plant was originally a base game character. But what about Ryu? He's not coming 2019, and he's definitely a lot more suspect. Well, before the Game Awards, the source sent a Joker card emoji and teased about knowing who it was. So at that point, it was clear they knew that Joker was coming and being revealed. However, they made the claim about Ryu before then, which is leading me to believe the following scenario. He received intel on these characters around the same time, and because Joker turned out legit, there's reason to trust that Ryu would come shortly after. The vague statement was likely a safeguard that wasn't safe enough. This either means they jumped the gun in assumption, or happened to get fake details alongside real ones. However, during Brew Leak times, someone from Nintendo America messaged me to stop posting Ryu Hayabusa in association with Smash, which was personal confirmation to me, but I'm not sure what it could mean. It's speculation now, but I think Ryu is somewhere in the plans given how everything rolled out. But again, this is now entirely speculative and not a leak. They were initially fooled by Kako Malo and haven't given any insight since, but their claims about 10 DLC and all third party all the way back seem to be true so far. What I think? It's some of the following scenarios. Their intel was simply wrong about the date for Ryu entirely, but did have legit info. They never gave a date, but the time of the intel led to assumptions that it would be around after Joker's reveal and Ryu is around somewhere. Or they were both right, but in some way or another, plans either fell through or were postponed. Because few inside people have discussed the information, it's possible that Ryu may have been leak bait. However, people have been cautious to never sign off the character, and being approached directly to stop might be a clue. So while it's speculation, I personally believe he's coming around in the future, but I have nothing but my own experience to back it. However, an L is an L, and I shall hold it graciously. So that's Brew's current stance on Ryu Hayabusa. I asked them if it was okay if I shared this in a video, and they told me it was. Personally, I'm not going to speculate on this one because it involves whether or not a Nintendo employee actually messaged Brew about not sharing Ryu Hayabusa info, and it's really hard to know whether or not that was some troll, if that ever even happened. So I'll leave you guys to decide how you take Brew's info, but I do think it's something to appreciate that Brew is actually telling us this information, actually open to share exactly what's going on. A lot of people won't do that. So I do give them credit for doing that. And I don't think they ever meant to like mislead the community or anything like that. If anything, it just sounds like potentially they had wrong info, or Ryu's just coming later down. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so now let's talk about all the evidence that's starting to build up, pointing towards a possible January Nintendo Direct happening very soon here. Challenger Pack 5 is up for individual purchase, so we might be getting a Nintendo Direct soon. And then if you look at the image, you can see Challenger Pack 5 for $5.99, and it says estimated release date February 29th, 2020. So I'm hearing conflicting reports about this one. Some people are saying this has been up for a while. Other people are saying that this was recently added. I haven't been watching that page, so I don't really know if this has been up for a while or not. But it is saying that the character will get released by February 29th, which is the last day of February, so we already kind of knew that. But if this was recently added, it could point to them getting ready to reveal who that character could be. A few other things have happened recently that I talked about in the last video. Sakurai has started doing these picks of the day on Twitter, and it seems a little strange to start doing that out of nowhere, so potentially this is leading up to a new character reveal, or just getting hyped up for Smash in general. We're also getting the Dark Samus and Richter Amiibos released on January 17th, so it's possible we could see something about the next character before that, and Sakurai would have a chance to advertise those Amiibos before they get released. There's also this controller for the Switch Online. Specifically, it's a Super NES controller, and it says this item is currently unavailable. Please check back for more news in January 2020. So it would be fitting if we got a Nintendo Direct to highlight this controller a bit more and give us some more information about it, and that would fit the January 2020 that this advertisement is talking about. Over on Twitter, @UUKami wrote, GameStop system doing its usual pre-direct new SKU listings. We start 2020 strong. And then there's a printout of a bunch of available SKUs for NSW, which is the Nintendo Switch. I'm unsure if these SKUs are actually in GameStop's system, but I wouldn't be that surprised. This happens a lot before a Nintendo Direct when we get a bunch of new games announced. Companies will add blank SKUs to their system before they're actually going to add the titles for those games. Nintendo may even give them the heads up, like, hey, we're going to announce some new games. It's like 10 new games or something like that. Add SKUs, and then you can put the actual titles in after we've announced them. This happens sometimes with Best Buy, it happens sometimes with GameStop. So if this person is to be believed, Nintendo has some blank SKUs in GameStop's system right now, and this has historically led to Nintendo Directs in the past, so we may be seeing one pretty soon. Another thing that happens often before Nintendo Directs are games start to leak, and we have a few potential leaked games right now. Spanish retailer Instant Gaming has put up a very interesting listing. A Nintendo Switch version for Red Dead Redemption 2, the listing comes complete with a Nintendo Switch box art for Red Dead Redemption. Now, I've heard this Spanish retailer is a little suspect and maybe doesn't always get things right, but still, it's something to keep an eye on. And we actually had some information pointing to a potential Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Switch earlier in December. Isaac over on my Discord wrote, this might want to be pinned. It seems we are getting Red Dead 2 for Switch, which would mean it's on every single gaming platform right now, including even Stadia. And then they posted a link to a Twitter post that says, @TezFunds2, Nintendo Switch controller found in hashtag RDR2 textures. And then you can see the Nintendo Switch controller that is apparently in the Red Dead Redemption 2 files. Also, Metro Redux has received a rating for the Nintendo Switch from the Pan-European Game Information Board. So that could point to that game also showing up potentially in a new Nintendo Direct. So this stuff is pretty typical of what happens right before Nintendo Direct, so it does seem like one will be coming very soon. We also have something really interesting specifically for Smash fans regarding some scheduled maintenance from Nintendo. So Nintendo has some maintenance scheduled for this week. It says from Monday, January 6, 2020, 8:30 p.m. to Monday, January 6, 2020, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, there'll be some distribution of update data. And then later on, it says online play of some software. This is happening from Wednesday, January 8th, 2020 at 4:50 p.m. to Wednesday, January 8th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So we have 2 times for scheduled maintenance happening this week, one on the 6th and one on the 8th. Over on my Discord, Deku wrote, credit to No Translation. No Translation first kind of compiled all this information, so credit to them. Update, the maintenance time for online play of some software this Wednesday is 4:50 to 6:30 p.m. Pretty much just what I've been talking about. But looking back, the maintenance time on Piranha Plant's release was on a Tuesday with the times being, and then they showed the times for Joker, the times for Hero, the times for Banjo, and the times for Terry. The maintenance time for all of these are all pretty close around the same time. And also, as for just release days, Plant released on Tuesday, Joker released on Wednesday, Hero released on Tuesday, Banjo released on Wednesday, Terry released on Wednesday. And now on this upcoming Wednesday, we have maintenance that fits in the same time frame of what Smash had previously for online play when each new DLC character released. So keep in mind, the character just has to come out by February. It doesn't have to be in February. We actually got some characters earlier than I thought. I think Banjo was supposed to release in the fall, and technically he actually released before the fall. So we could get the character this week, potentially. We could get a Nintendo Direct, say on the 6th, and the character releasing a few days later on the 8th, or a Direct on the 7th, something like that. It's pretty interesting that that maintenance is lining up here. So yeah, we could get a Direct extremely soon here, and even our character released right away. It's a possibility. Now, I have no idea for sure when we're going to get a Nintendo Direct, but I do think we'll get one this month, and I wouldn't be that surprised if we got one as early as this week, so I'm pretty excited here. Now, I want to talk about a potential hit against a character that's been highly speculated, and that character is Doomguy. Someone sent me something over on Discord, and this isn't someone who, sends me leak information or anything like that. This is the first time they've sent me something this relevant, so take this one with a big grain of salt, but I'll just show you guys what I wrote over on Discord about it. So someone who wants to remain anonymous sent me an image of Hugo Martin, the creative director of idsoft, essentially saying Doomguy isn't planned for Smash. The person who sent me this image often sends me Doomguy stuff and is a big Doomguy for Smash supporter. I have no idea how this person was able to contact Hugo Martin. I'm actually not even sure if the person who sent me this is the one who actually had the conversation with Hugo Martin, or if they were just sent this DM conversation from someone else. Or if the image of the message conversation is real, or if it's even actually Hugo Martin or what. The person who sent the message image to me is absolutely devastated about the news, and given that they have been talking to me about Doomguy for a while now, I'd say they definitely believe the message is real. I will add that usually when I share random messages / info from people with no history of having info / leaks, etc., usually that info turns out to be fake or wrong. So take this one with a big grain of salt and be wary of taking it at face value. However, I also don't like keeping what I've heard to myself, so there you go. Personally, I'm wary of trusting this until I see something said publicly, but we will just have to wait and see, I guess. Also keep in mind how Grant Kirkhope totally denied knowing anything about Banjo, so that can happen too. And then here's the message conversation itself. I blocked out Hugo Martin's image just because it's of a kid, and I didn't think it was appropriate to put that in the video. Hey Hugo, I'm a huge id and Doom fan, and I'm so hyped for Doom Eternal that I'm getting a new PC just to run it. I love the route you and your team took the franchise in, and I couldn't be happier. Keep being awesome. PD, Doom Slayer for Smash? Hugo Martin wrote back, not at this time. Now, if you look closely, the date of this conversation is 4/8/19, but I actually think this is using the day, then month, then year. So this was probably August 4th, 2019, when this conversation happened, if it is in fact a legitimate conversation. People have been speculating Doomguy ever since that Bethesda interview where they did say they had talked to Nintendo about Smash, and Doomguy seems to be the frontrunner for who a Bethesda rep might be. Now, once again, I can't stress enough that I have no idea whether or not this conversation is real or not, so take this one with a huge grain of salt. Personally, I'm going to wait until I see something publicly before I count Doomguy out whatsoever. I'm not taking this one very strongly at all. Also, like I said with Grant Kirkhope, Hugo Martin could just be lying. I mean, you do want to just deflect something like that. You're not just going to confirm in some private message that Doomguy is coming to Smash. It's not going to happen. So he may have just said no because he simply has to if this conversation is real at all. I only really wanted to put it in this video at all because I don't like keeping information to myself. If I'm allowed to share it with you guys, I do. So one other character from Bethesda a lot of people have been talking about lately is Dragonborn from Skyrim. And that whole Cacodemon Malo-Me costume leak could still be legit with another Bethesda character. The Cacodemon doesn't actually have to come with Doomguy, it could come with some other Bethesda character. If this Hugo Martin conversation is legit and he's being honest here, it's possible we're not getting Doomguy, but we could still be getting a Bethesda character, and maybe it's Dragonborn. It's a possibility here, I just wanted to throw out there. While I like Skyrim, I like Doom better, and I'd rather get Doomguy. So personally, I'm hoping that conversation isn't legitimate, and Doomguy still has a shot for Smash, because I'd rather get him. He's one of my most wanted characters right now, so yeah, I'd like to get Doomguy here. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. If you guys have any other thoughts or comments about anything I talked about, feel free to leave them below. So once again, Thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. It really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.